Happy Australian release day to Until Friday Night by Abby Glines. Hey book lovers, Victoria here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Until Friday Night by Abby Glines, which is the first book in the Field Party series. This book came out in America and I think the UK on August 25, and it's released today, September 1st, here in Australia. Now, I was kindly sent this book by Simon Schuster for review, and I loved it. So the book follows two characters, Wes Ashby and Maggie Colton. Wes is your typical high school boy. He's popular, he's good looking, he's a great footballer, and he gets all the girls. But he has this really dark secret, and that is that his father is dying of cancer. And it's gotten to the stage that he doesn't have that much longer to live, and the pressure is really starting to build for Wes. And he hasn't told anyone, not even his closest friend. But at an after-game field party, he confides in Maggie. Now, Maggie is the new girl in town. She is Wes's best friend's cousin, who moves in with her aunt and uncle after living with her godmother for the past 2 or 3 years. I can't really remember, but anyway. And she is mute. She's selectively mute. She experienced a really horrific event that 2 or 3 years ago. And so she has decided not to speak, not to laugh, not to say anything verbally, because she feels like if she hears her own voice out loud, she's gonna fall apart. Being quiet is the only way that she can stay together, and that she's not gonna have to talk about and confront what happened, because if she starts talking about it, she's just gonna fall apart again. And it was such a really horrific time. Anyway, so knowing that Maggie can't tell anyone, Wes confides in her, but he's really surprised that after he reveals his deep dark secret and just gets everything off his chest, that Maggie replies to him, and she ends up revealing her own horrific past and pain to him, and they realize they've got a lot in common. And so they kind of form this really deep connection and bond over their shared pain, and Maggie is able to help Wes through his father's cancer and just be there for him and support him. And at the same time, Wes sort of just helps Maggie come to terms with maybe one day she might be able to speak again. And the two kind of start falling for each other, but neither really wants to pursue anything, because Maggie thinks that Wes only sees her as a shoulder to lean on, and that he doesn't really want anything deeper than that. Whereas Wes sees himself as not being anywhere near good enough for Maggie, because he's dealing with his own baggage and doesn't think he would be good enough to give her the love and support that she needs. So both of them help each other work through their pain and come to terms with events that have happened. And yeah, other stuff obviously happens. I'm not going to say too much more because I definitely want you guys to go out and read this book. I finished this book in less than 24 hours. I read a good chunk of it, a couple of hours one night before I went to bed, and then I finished it off during the next day. It was just so good. The story is told in alternating chapters where, you know, each character's perspective is told from alternating every second chapter. Kind of like Eleanor and Park, and this book actually did remind me a lot of Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell, not only with the alternating chapters, but just with the overall idea of the storyline, which I thought was really good because I really enjoyed Eleanor and Park. So this story was told really beautifully. The characters and the storyline was just so amazing, and I was crying. I had so many feels in this book. It was ridiculous. I was crying sad tears, I was crying happy tears, I laughed a few times. It was a feel fest, and it was like one of those good feel fests where you're not like cursing the author because they're just making you curl up in the fetal position. It was just really beautiful and really nice. Thankfully, I can see that I've never experienced what the characters have gone through. I've never lost a parent. I've never lost anyone that close to me before, unless you count a pet dog. That's probably the worst I've experienced. So I can't really say that, you know, this was an accurate portrayal of such events, but it was still really well written, and I think it's a mark of a good book, a good story, and a good author if they are able to make you feel things and feel a variety of things. Now, like I said, I haven't experienced the heartache that these characters have, but there were a few occasions where I sort of stopped and a thought crossed my mind, and it was, what if this happened to me and my parents? You know, although I didn't think about that for long, it just sort of made me want to dive into the book and give these characters a hug because I really think they deserved it. So this was my first Abby Glines book. I know she's got a couple of other series out. I think she's got quite a lot of books, I think. And they have all gotten relatively good reviews, so I'm really keen to see her other work, and I'm also really keen to see where this series goes. Like I said, it is the first book in the Field Party series, and the story was wrapped up fairly well. I mean, I could have had a little bit more near the end, but overall, you know, the loose ends were tied up, the characters were in a happy place at the end. It just seemed finished, so I'm very interested to see where this series goes, whether the other books sort of focus on other characters in the series. I'm not quite sure, but it will still be great to be with these characters again in the future books whenever they come out. Now, if you love contemporary romances of YA or kind of new adult, then definitely go check this out, especially if you don't mind shedding a few tears. Like I said, it's kind of a good feel fest. It was just really good. I definitely was not expecting to love this book as much as I did. I just managed to stumble across it, and the cover, the gorgeous cover, really stood out to me. And I mean, if you don't really want to read the book, please just get it for the cover, because I would hang that on my wall. It's just really beautiful. The story is just so amazingly and beautifully written, and you will probably fly through it. It was just amazing. Now, I do have to say the F-bomb is dropped quite a lot in this book. I'm pretty sure there is an F-bomb at least every chapter. So make of that what you will, read it, what not. Also, I kind of feel like there could be a trigger warning for domestic abuse and violence. It's definitely not all the way through the book, but there are definitely some scenes where it is somewhat graphic and confronting. So if that could be an issue for you, then just look into this book a little bit more. Also, like I said, West's father is dying of cancer, and it's kind of sort of, some parts are graphic, some parts are just really sad. So I kind of feel like if you've lost a parent, maybe because of cancer, you know, obviously make of that what you will. I'm not saying read it or don't read it. I'm just giving you that warning, because I don't want to recommend this book to you guys and then have someone come back at me and say, this book was horrible, I cried so much, it brought back so many painful memories, because I don't want that to happen. I just really want people to read this book. I thought it was absolutely amazing. Like I said, read it in less than 24 hours, and I'm excited to see where the rest of this series goes. I'm excited to read some of Abby's other work. I just thought it was amazing. So please go and pick up this book, because it is amazing. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, and Instagram. I also got a written review for this book, which is pretty much what I've covered in this video, but I will link to that below anyway, so you can just go check that out. And I will also link to the Goodreads and Book Depository pages for this book. Other than that, make sure you subscribe if you want to see more videos. I'm hoping to bring some more review videos, because other than this one, I've only got one other up. And I'm definitely going to try and bring some more videos during September. I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye.